idea is that you would take notes because you can use them when you are doing the quiz. Okay.
Well, on a notebook.
That's fine also. Okay, so to clarify, when I told everybody to take out paper, some students asked, can they use their math notebook? I said, absolutely.
Okay.
So let's look at this problem. Let's start with this. What does evaluate mean?
Ooh, does it mean like, what is it called?
Oh.
Okay, too loud.
So the expression?
Nope.
Wait, answer was called.
Okay. Okay. Guys, evaluate means solve.
Oh, yeah.
If you are asked to evaluate, solve. You are going to get a number answer. Okay? So, we have a few ways we can do this. We can use substitution and then distribute, or we can distribute and then substitute. So in class, Mrs. VB was saying you can do either order. I'm going to go through both to show you what she meant, although I'm going to tell you it is probably easier to substitute and then distribute. Okay? So we're substituting because we have a letter, and they've told me that letter is worth something. What have they told me that letter is worth? Oh, 3. That's what I'm substituting. So that means I'm going to write the 4. I'm going to write the parenthesis. I'm going to write the 6. In the x's place, I'm going to put 3, but I want you to understand it is not 63. It is like a 3 in parentheses, okay? So technically, these parentheses would become brackets, right?
Yeah.
Technically, but I don't need to necessarily do all that. What I need to be able to do now is do my order of operations. So what's inside here? I have multiplication and I have addition. Remember, this is not 6, 3. This is not 63. This means this value times the variable. Now in our case, the variable x is a multiplication symbol, but we just got lucky there. So 6 times 3 is 18.
Yeah. And then plus.
Okay, now you guys will probably do this part in your head. You probably will do 6 times 3 is 18 plus 2 is 20.
Yeah.
Okay? But I want you to understand that this is happening.
Yeah, no,
right?
I know. Yeah, I get that.
And then 4 times 20 is 80.
Yeah.
Because evaluate means
So.
solve. Okay. Now, I don't think I would do it this way. Because I don't think this way would be fun. Oh, I should have used a different color. Oh well, we'll do orange. I can distribute first. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. Notice in class today I typed them because my handwriting is bad. Okay. I could distribute and do 4 times 6x is 24x.
Yeah.
So remember, when I'm combining like terms, when I'm adding and subtracting, I need them to be alike, but not for multiplying. And then I'm going to do 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. If I was just combining terms, it would be 24x plus 8, okay? But in this case, I know that x is equal to 3. What's 24 times 3? Well, honestly, I have to do it over on the side here.
4 times 3 is 72.
Oh, he's very smart. 72. And what is 72 plus 8?
72 plus 8 is
80. So you can do these in either order. You can substitute and distribute, which is most often what we do, or you can distribute and then substitute. Do you understand now what she means when she's saying you can do it in either order?
Yeah.
Did you understand in class when she was saying you could do either order?
I did.
You did? Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to go on to the next one. Write the expression. What word with an E is not in this problem? I'll give you a hint. It's here, but not here. What word with an E is in this evaluate? Evaluate means what? Solve. Do we have the word evaluate here? So are we solving anything?
Writing the expression.
Okay. So I find the biggest problem kids have with math is they're like, I don't know what to do because they don't understand the English words. Really. It's not the math. It is really the English words. Evaluate, and then they say things like evaluate an expression, which really bugs me because technically you can't evaluate an expression. You can only evaluate an equation. Don't get me started. Okay, so I know how I confused you now. Can't evaluate an expression, you can only evaluate an equation. But so we're not evaluating, we're writing. What I can't spell quotient, obviously. Is quotient addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Okay.
Division.
Okay. Then next time answer it without making a face. Okay. Could I write that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know another one.
What's another way?
M over 35.
Okay. Whoa, we know another way? What? You tell me.
35.
If you're gonna do 35 over M, technically that's
No.
wrong. Technically you
It's
have
like-
to.
You're right. I know what she's saying.
Oh, you're thinking.
M's in the house.
Oh,
Can't think of that. Yeah, it is.
you're right. That would work. Okay. Anybody have another way?
I'm trying to think.
M/35.
This one, really, when you say, I want to just point out, hold on a second, hands down, and then I'll call you. Back in the day, back in the way back day, we had word processors. We didn't have programs that could make fractions. So M/35 is really just how we typed it when we only had a typewriter or a word processor. And you will see teachers sometimes do it. I tend to try
Not to.
to go back in and use a program that will do it this way so that it looks like what you expect it to look like. Okay? Did you have a way to do it? M/35 is for a ratio, it's not division. And you're right, that's what's confusing, is a ratio is division.
The ratio is division,
But division's
but
not
division's not
a
a
ratio. Yes.
M, the word divided. 35.
Okay, but that doesn't, when we're asked to write an expression, I like that you brought it up, but when we're asked to write an expression, M, and then using the words,
Division is not expression. That's what I was gonna say, but I thought. you
Okay.
already had that.
no, so I want to point out, guys, that is not going to count when we're asking you to write an expression. When we're asking you to write an expression, we're asking you to use math symbols. Okay? We got this one?
Yep.
Okay. So on this one, I went in and I typed it. And the other thing that I like about when you actually use this is me being picky. The thing that I like about using a math program to type variables is it makes them, I noticed some teachers say cursive. It's actually not cursive. It's cursive and italics. It's italicized cursive or cursive italics, okay? So I like that because even if I use X, it looks different than multiplication X, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to understand, these are terms. This is a term.
Yep.
Is there another term with the letter V? Which one?
Do you also kind of go and stuff?
No. No. What is the other V term?
I said it.
No, you did not.
No, I said no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, two.
It's 2B.
It is not 2V.
No,
That's the
that's-
problem. That is exactly the problem. What is the other V term?
Negative.
Either negative or minus. That is,
Oh.
okay. But here, again, this is where we talk about English language and math. We get very picky, okay? A term is a combination of letters, signs are positive and negative, numbers, and if we have them, exponents. Okay? For like terms, the letters have to match.
And sometimes if the number matches, then it counts too.
Okay, and, well, hold on a second, and the exponents have to match. This is what she was talking about. W squared and W are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna explain the numbers in a minute. Okay, 8V minus 2V is how many V's? Backyard. 8V minus 2V is how many V's? 6V. Okay? I tend to, and if I helped you today, in her class I was showing you, I tend to like circle the ones I'm working with and scratch off what I've done. Okay. Next one. I have a W. What term goes with the W? What's the other like term?
4W.
It's not just 4W though, it's what kind of W?
5W.
Nope. It's plus or positive.
Oh.
When you combine them, when you put them together, yes, you have 5 W's. But it is important, especially as you guys are getting closer and closer to 7th grade, that you understand that that sign goes with it. And then the last one, now I want to talk about this for a moment. Remember how I said like terms are if they have the same letters and the same exponents. The reason that 7 and -5 are like terms is what letter do each of them have?
They don't have
They don't have a letter.
So they're not alike.
So that's why they're like, because sometimes, and I think, Mr. Los Angeles Laker in the back, I think you were trying to like explain that when I was talking about this, because you said something about like, and the numbers if there's not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make sure you understand that. The other thing I want to talk about while I have you here, okay, is I want to try to explain a little bit about why x and x squared are not like terms. Because I know that we keep telling you that they're different, and you're not going to understand everything I'm going to say here, so you're going to get a preview of what's to come. So first off, I want to explain. If I measure something with a ruler, if I measure how tall I am, okay, I can measure it in inches. That's an inch. I mean, that's actually longer than an inch, but you get the point, that's an inch. When we find the area of something, We then measure it in square inches,
And it's,
which look like that.
yeah.
Is that the same as that?
No, that's 4.
No, that's why I want you to understand that x and x squared are not the same thing. If I measure how big something is three-dimensionally,
That's,
I use a cubic
yeah.
inch.
Which is,
That is different than that, which is different than that.
yeah.
So I want to point that out. That's part of why x squared and x not the same.